my right, you have the back nine at Oakmont Country Club. To my left, most of the front nine. But what's beneath me? Well, as you might be able to hear, that is Interstate 76, aka the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And as far as we are aware, this course, Oakmont, is the only elite course in America with a major highway literally splitting it in half. So the obvious question is, how did this thing get here? We're going to take you back to 1904, when a steel baron named Henry Phones sold out to Andrew Carnegie, got very wealthy, and bought all this land with a few of his friends. He was a golf nut, and he decided the 9-hole courses in the area just weren't hard enough. So right here, he built an absolute beast of a course, and it was designed to match his philosophy about life, which is that great triumph only comes after incredible hardship. The land was almost perfect, except for one flaw. There was a railroad down the middle. This was the Bessemer and Lake Erie Railroad, designed to move steel and steel products from Lake Erie all the way to Pittsburgh, and the section that crosses the Allegheny River and goes through Oakmont was completed around 1897. It was owned by J.P. Morgan's U.S. Steel, and J.P. Morgan wasn't moving his train for anyone, so Phones and his Oakmont crew had to live with it. But it wasn't a huge deal. It only came through a few times a day. Fast forward to the mid-30s, and the powers that be in Pennsylvania started getting the idea that they should build a highway through the mountains and across the state. They got money from FDR's Works Progress Administration, passed it through the state legislature, and by 1940 had opened the first stretch between Carlisle and Irwin. That was still south of Pittsburgh, but time marches on, and when they wanted to expand westward, guess what? There was already a railroad that had conveniently carved a path. They wanted that land. They even drew up this map to broadcast their intentions, and Oakmont had no choice. It was either accept the offer or the government would take it by eminent domain, which everybody hates, but nobody can do anything about. So they got $70,000 for their trouble. The government agreed to build a new bridge for them. The 8th green was moved a few yards, some land was taken off the 2nd and 9th tee, and the highway through Oakmont was opened in December 1951. It was so far ahead of its time that it was later called the grandfather of the interstate system. And they even moved the train tracks, which you can still see right to the side of the turnpike, and trains still run there. So, despite all of Oakmont's prestige and all the money they have, even they couldn't stop progress. Today, there are 3 walking bridges that go over the highway, and although you can definitely hear the cars on certain points of the course, you'd be hard-pressed to notice the interstate unless you're literally right on top of it like we are right now. Look, it cannot be ideal to have a highway split your course in half, but you gotta tip your cap to Oakmont. They rolled with the punches well, and it's still an unbelievable course.